This week we are talking about the Cockney accent. Hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We had a great day, followed by lots of visits to the doctor. My daughter has a weird fever and a rash, and now she's broken a piece of her thumb. One can only hope things get better from this point. Can't wait for November to be over. Cockney this week. One of the first things that we have is inspiration. So I have lots of pictures. Here they are. So here is Mickey from Doctor Who. I first noticed the Cockney accent with him because he has a whole lot of the fuh sounds with both. And I didn't realize those were specific to Cockney until we started studying it. There's, of course, Rose Tyler. There's a cabbie, because I think of cabbies and I think of Cockney at the same time. Of course, Eliza Doolittle. I mean, because you can't have Cockney without her. This is the charwoman scene, or Old Joe in A Christmas Carol. And, of course, servants and maids. Because when we think of Cockney and RP, we think of upper British class as RP, and I think that we kind of assume that servants would be more of a Cockney kind of accent. So, after identifying the images, we talk about oral posture. So one of the most important things, I think, when it comes to oral posture is that the jaw is more open and the lips are much more forward, because you have "ow" and lots of things that go like that. Almost kind of like you're pulling your the top of your lips kind of scrunch up, like something smells bad. I don't know, but you have more of a lip rounded kind of thing going on. Let's see. The back of the tongue kind of touches there's a lot of more glottals, better. Lot of glottal sounds, so you have a wide open space in your mouth, but you also use your tongue at the back of it often. The other thing that I noticed is with the musicality, whereas in the RP, people tend to get higher in tone and emphasize certain words. The Cockney gets faster and more excitable, but they also get louder, kind of like the American general that we were told about. So they get louder. They tend to. Sorry about the ums. Jeez. Whew. They tend to get higher in pitch as well, and just less reserved, I think, than the RP speakers would be. I think emotion comes out much more clearly in the Cockney than it would with the stiff upper lip. I did it again. Let's see. The next thing to talk about is sound changes. And I mean, of course, Cockney is similar to the RP in that you have that missing R sound with everything, but bud, bod, sold, things like that. But they also, I noticed as I listened to them, that they tend to more often add that weird R that's not actually there. So Amader, I can't think of any other examples, but that final R is there a lot. The other interesting thing is that the TH sound is almost non-existent. It's always a F or a V sound. So you have brother, father, your bover and may, and things like that. In most words, the E sound becomes an I party, silly. Let's see. Some other very distinct sounds are the O sound, I think is more pronounced because, again, your lips are more forward, so you have do or, and then, of course, you're missing, that was almost Scottish, you're kind of missing the T sound, so do or, something like that. And then, just like in American general, when we have dialectic normal speakers, we leave off the G in ing. So he's talking, he's walking. There's no G sound most often. Although, as Professor Clemens said, for understandability on the stage, you may want to include a G here and there. I'm not sure. Let's see. The other one, of course, that I've kind of given examples of, but I haven't covered, is the lack of T, whereas the RP has a very strong T sound for everything. I'm not sure that Cockney speakers use a T sound in the middle or end of a word ever. So you have more of a better, butter, lot of, things like that. Another one that I noticed when I was studying it with different videos is the ul sound tends to become vowels. So you have pull, well, soil. There's almost no l sound. So those are some of the signature sounds. Let's see. Next we should cover the musicality, which I sort of mentioned. It's a rougher language, I think. Almost like you have a lower tone instead of a higher pitch than you would with RP. It's more brash, but it still has the same up and down flow that the RP would have, just louder, I think. Let's see, the next challenges for me, because I tend to fall into Cockney anyway when I'm doing RP, I can't think of any specific challenges that I face. I asked the professor how to say look in Cockney because it's a weird sound. I couldn't find anything for a double sound. I think what she told me was to make it further back in your throat, so look, maybe like that. That would be the difficult sound that I can think of that I'm not sure about. When practicing my monologue, I noticed that, let's see, what was the word that I struggled with? Sometimes, it's clocking, hold on. Wicked old screw. It was kind of strange to say that one. When there's a whole lot of words in a sentence that are missing the H, that trips me up. So those are some of the things that I kind of struggle with. My key sentence I've kind of mashed up several things from Doctor Who because, fan a little bit there. Sorry about the dang it. So what I've taken is from the very first David Tennant season, his very first season, when he comes out and he falls out of the TARDIS and Rose's mom is there. And I've kind of mashed up all three of their conversations, and this is basically what I get. What happened? Weren't you with him? What you mean that's the Doctor? Doctor Who? So that's kind of what I think of, because, it's missing the H sounds. You've got the with them, and the what you mean. So those are the things that make me think of the Cockney. So now we're down to my monologue. And so this is kind of a combination of everything that the housekeeper charwoman says in A Christmas Carol. This is Mrs. Dilbert's monologue from A Christmas Carol. I'm not sure what happened. It just went and did something very strange. Hold on a second. What's going on? Oh, that's what happened. It moved this over. Okay, hold on. Let me fix it so I can read it. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so this is when she is speaking to old Joe, who is basically the pawnbroker, and he has died in his visit from the Ghost of Christmas Future. And so she's talking to there's the undertaker and then there's the laundress. And they're all saying about how they've taken things from him and nobody will notice or care. So, here we go. Very well then, who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose. If he wanted to keep 'em after he was dead, the wicked old screw, why wasn't it natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping out his last there, alone by himself. Ah, you may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it, not a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me. So, that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic and wonderful, oh my gosh, this is almost 10 minutes long. Enjoy! Have a great holiday and a great December. Bye-bye.